Hello. So this has been a minute since I've made a recording. I wanted to go over a proposition talking about the AK market and just things that you would need to do, in my opinion, to make a AK a suitable daily go to war, like rely upon everyday type of gun. And I've made a change to my daily carry reluctantly, or my go to war rifle, I should say. But I'll explain that towards the end of the video. So here I have a plethora of AKs because I am ultimately an AK guy. I've been in AKs for a long time. My very first rifle, semi-automatic rifle I should state, was a Romanian Wasser, and it was a great gun. Don't have it still, unfortunately. It was a great gun. It came in during the assault weapons ban, and unfortunately, it had the no threads, or it didn't have any threads, and it had a thumbhole stock, which I then changed and everything. So anyway, to get to the meat and potatoes of the video. So here I have an AKV 9mm with the bizon conversion kit. Here I have a Zastava zpap 85 and 5.56. And then this here is a WBP 762x39 with the chrome line cold hammer forged barrel. And then this is a WBP as well. This one has the nitrided barrel, and it's been set up exactly how you would want to set up a fighting rifle, in my opinion. And then here is a CZ Bren 2 MS, and we'll get to this in a minute, but I've also tricked this out because ultimately this is my carry gun now. So the the Bizon clone from PSA also has the I forget what you call it, OKP7 or whatever optic clone. It's neat. This is the Picatinny version of it. So far it's held 0 on it. This is a pretty sharp, snappy recoil impulse. So it's holding up good on this, which means it'd probably hold up good on any 5.56 style AK, as long as it's not overgassed, I should say. Some of those 5.56 import guns can be pretty gassy. But anyway, this gun's been pretty reliable. The magazines, on the other hand, I've had issues. This is, like I say, a conversion. And I have had the feedlet fall on this break. I did have to reach out to them. I had the original sample set when they first released, and they had to send me the whole adapter up here, so that way I could make it work, because the original ones they released did not work. These do work, but these top lips here are not reinforced and they're easy to snap. I have a $150 one, unfortunately, that this needs to be replaced on. Again, don't shoot it in the cold weather. That's the only thing that I have to say, and it's hard to not want to come out and shoot an AK in this kind of weather, in my opinion, so it needs to get better. Okay, Zastava zpap 85. An amazing gun, heavy as hell for what it is though. And I know the suppressor adds a little bit of weight, but this gun has been kitted with a K&S adjustable gas piston. It's 5.56. I use the 75 grain Hornady boat tail, hollow point boat tails, and they're extremely good. They do pretty good out of this 10-inch barrel. However, not as much stopping power as I ultimately want. Sorry, I'm out on the farm, so you'll hear cattle. But not as much stopping power as I would really want. I know a lot of people really say, oh, those 11-inch and 10-inch ARs, the feds have really put them down with it, and spec ops and all that stuff. Yeah, it'll probably put them down. If they're wearing anything more than cloth clothes and stuff in that, I probably wouldn't lean towards this. I know they make some pretty good armor piercing ammo, but I'm a big fan of 7.62, whether it be 51 or whether that be 39. I prefer a 30 cal bullet. Do love this gun though, absolutely amazing. 0 recoil with the K&S adjustable gas piston, with it having that RPK receiver and everything. Man, this thing just chugs. Definitely need an FRT in it to make it a little bit more fun. Okay, now WBP. these are relatively new to me. I probably have about 500 rounds in this one. I mean, this is not like a full-on 100 series. It just has the front-end aesthetics, which I love. I wish I could get those. I know that as of the making of this video, they went live on Meridian Defense full 100 series clones, which is awesome. Can't wait to get my hand on one of those. But for right now, this is scratching the itch. And this one is in 7.62 by 39. Very fine shooting gun. It does have a chrome lined cold hammer forged barrel, and I'm using a primary arms SLX 3X with the 7.62 by 39 and 300 blackout BDC reticle in this, and master mount slide scope attachment. Super dependable gun. Doesn't weigh too much. As it's kitted now, do have the pad on the back just to give some extended length of pull. I am a tall guy, so that really does help. The slings are a little chintzy, but it's a sling. Like I say, the go-to-war weapons are going to have these, which is a, oh man, what is this? This is a Kyber Custom, and then my other gun has a Blue Force, Vickers Blue Force tactical sling, and I love those. But these are great guns. From what I'm hearing, this one is not jammed on me yet. It's factory gas, no K&S piston. Wrapped it in some goon tape, of course, but it's been reliable. Haven't had a single hiccup out of it yet. Like I say, 500 rounds, not early enough to tell whether or not this thing's going to be long-term reliable. And then saying that as well, getting back into the WBP. This is a 5.56 100 series, just the front end. Everything else in here is AKM. But this has the suppressor, this has the Bar Waris rail top cover. Would have preferred the skinnier handguard since this is the full 16-inch, but originally I bought this to fit on my Palmetto State Armory AK-105. And like I say, the 105 is a good gun. It's not really done anything wrong to me. It hasn't jammed, it hasn't had a problem, but hearing everything about those trunnions and mine being one of the earlier batches of 105, I wanted something a little bit more dependable to trust on. Not saying that it's not and it couldn't be, but you know, ultimately, like, just having something you know you can trust. That's why I went with some of the WBP stuff. This is a more high-end import AK, and they are fixing some things from what I hear in the States, so it's not like completely made out of country from what I'm understanding. But it does have a K&S adjustable gas piston. It does have one of the gaskets in the back here as well to keep some of that gas down. The top rail has been really good. It's held 0. I do have one of the Novus Optics clone optics of the Russian, whatever it is, I couldn't tell you. It's in Cyrillic, so I'm not even going to attempt that. But this has been a good gun. The scope has given me some grief sometimes. Like, it'll stay on, but as I'm shooting it, sometimes it will flicker off. And I checked the batteries. They're pretty new, so it's kind of weird. I think it's just the battery inside having some slidability here, where it can kick itself off, and then you kind of like bump it a bit and it turns back on. So I wouldn't say go to war rated. I do like it has an adjustable off the side brightness setting. I do like that. It is a very crisp optic as well. My eyes, I'm starting to notice that sometimes I'll have some things blow out. Hopefully not astigmatism or anything, but this is super clear and crisp. It's actually even more clear and crisp than the green dot, which is crazy because the green's supposed to be better for the eye. This is the Ames Max Ronin with the green dot. And it's a fine optic, don't get me wrong, but I can pick the clarity up on this a little better than I can on this. But good gun. It hasn't failed me yet either. It hasn't had any issues. I've heard a lot about firing pins and whatnot. I haven't personally had any issue. Again, probably only got about 500-600 rounds on it, so too early to tell. I do have some spares just because of all the everybody talking about how they've had firing pin breakage. I just went ahead and picked up a few just to be safe. Now, CZ Bren. This thing has surprised the hell out of me. I heard about them, you know, and I kind of just was like, it's those HK fanboys loving that short stroke gas piston system. You know, it's probably a lot of hype and stuff. I picked it up at the shop. I'd never handled one before that. And man, feeling it. It was smooth. It was light. And the trigger pull, fan-freaking-tastic. For out of the box, I probably put the same amount of money or more into this to get it to do the same thing this did out of the box. 762 by 39. Love that 762 stopping power. Also, they have these translucent magazines that are sexy. Straight insert. I really like the Rock and Lock for cold weather, so it's new to me. I would say if there was anything I could change, I love the trigger, but if I could change the lower to where it was a Rock and Lock to take factory AK mags, even if it was a proprietary lower, I would probably take it. And I think there is one on the market. It takes AR triggers and it is a Rock and Lock. Would be cool to see if an FRT would work on that. I just don't want to sacrifice any reliability. I know once you start getting into parts and changing a lot of the core parts, that you're going to start to have reliability issues, and I don't want to sacrifice that. I have had a few jams on this gun. I really hope that you can get the newer CZ Bren 3s when they come out, the dual extractor. I would love to be able to swap out that front bolt carrier with that dual extractor on this gun, but I don't know if they're going to make them parts compatible. This, by the way, has been SBR'd. I have went and put the OG folding stock and all on it, which is awesome. You don't get that in these type of guns here, where you are limited on the standard non-folding trunnion. This has a Zukov stock with a high cheek riser. This has just the factory stock, so can't do anything with that unless you go aftermarket. This came, like I said, would come with the folding stock and all factory, but they either come in with nothing or brace. Mine had the M4 tube style adapter, and it was okay, but it had a lot of wobble. When I got this in from CZ Parts or something, it's not CZ USA, but it's a CZ Parts, and I was skeptical that they were not a real company, and I kind of got worried, but apparently a lot of British things are set up that way with the payment and options and stuff like that. Anyway, kind of wigged me out, but I did get my stock, so if you're worried about the things from CZ Parts, it isn't scam. They do in fact sell real parts from CZ. Solid, it's great, love it. QD points and stuff everywhere. Like I say, Ames Ronin Max. I got the Surefire Scoutlight, works great. Vertical grip on it, of course, SBR'd, and then I got the, for right now, just the Dead Air Primal suppressor with the adapter on it that I normally use in my 300 PRC chemo, but I do have a Huxworks Flow 762 on the way, since this tax stamps $200 is gone. I got that, and I got a Silencer Co. Osprey 9mm coming as well for my pistols and my Makarovs. So super cool. But this has replaced my AKs as far as my daily carry, and I know that sounds crazy. This thing has had a couple little hiccups, but I changed the gas system on it to this HB Industries, I think it was, gas key or gas block, and it's been really good after that. It's got the suppressed option, and then you got your standard, and then your adverse. So it's come with 3 options instead of 1 being a complete shut off. That is nice. I didn't replace it, the handguard, with the HB Industries handguard. I kind of wanted to keep it short, and I didn't really want to change a bunch on the gun, because frankly, I kind of like it minimalist like this. I know the other one's really nice, and it gives you an extra spot of M-lock, but this was all right for me. It does well. Like I say, this gun has been awesome. The trigger's amazing. I hear spare parts is very difficult to keep for this gun. I know CZ USA has some of them, so you could try to order them in, but they're not as plentiful as like an AR or an AK for that matter. So as far as like the parts interchangeability and being able to find parts and get them to replace and maintain these AKs, I would say they have a leg up in that department comparative to the CZ Bren, which is crazy to me for how amazing this gun is that there's not more usage of them. I know the price point's a little bit of a hard of a pill to swallow, but I'm telling you, by the time you pay about $2,000 to $1,750 to $2,000 for this, you would have had to have done at least $1,200 or so on the AK for a decent AK, and then you're talking another probably $400 to $500 on the light end to get these to where they'll do the same thing as this out of the box. And I don't know, I really enjoy this gun. It shoots great, it's super accurate, the recoil impulse is amazing, it's not super hard to clean, it's not dirty, it shoots suppressed very well, and frankly I'm in love with it. I love it. The AR controls, like I say, they're pretty good. I still don't like the straight insert. I still kind of prefer the rock and lock just for cold weather, especially in gloves. Trigger guard is decent. I would like a little bit more room like the AK has for gloved hands, but it's not bad. A lot of people don't like that it has the bolt release and stop inside the trigger guard, but in my opinion, whenever you're coming off the gun and you're trying to work the gun, you should flip it to safety anyway, and then you can drop your bolt, do whatever you need to do, then go back to fire, and then go back to work. So, like I say, I don't have any problem with that functionality in this gun at all. I do enjoy it. I like it. It's kind of like a bad lever. Everybody wants to shit on this part, but then everybody's running around with bad levers, and it's like, what's the difference? I don't understand why you would want one and then criticize the other. So, like I say, this gun by far has really impressed me. I love it. It is now my everyday carry, go to war gun. But you know, I'm a civvy. We're probably never gonna have that, but you know, if it ever happens, this is what I'm gonna be toting. Love that crazy 7.62 power, and also Tele ammo. I have been running some of it, and it has been a little bit spicier and hits a little bit harder. So keep that in mind when you're gonna order the ammo. That if you have been running Wolf steel case stuff, the Tele is a bit hotter, and it does have a point of impact shift. So just keep that in mind. Other than that, like I say, do absolutely love AKs. I'm gonna be honest, if I'm rolling around and I got the chance, man, I want to pick up the 7.62. But I hate shooting without suppressors, and if I wanted to shoot this suppressed quite a bit, I need that Huxworks Flow 7.62 can, something that's low back pressure, to make this very suitable to shoot. Or I'm gonna have to go hunt up Ear Pro, which sucks. And like I say, it's a pain in the ass. This thing, you can throw a suppressor on it and throw it to its suppressed gas setting, and off to the races you go. It'll be reliable, it's good right out of the box. You don't have to go thinking about what link gas piston you're gonna need from K&S, which love K&S pistons, but again, you're spending a lot of money extra off the base gun to get it to where it'll do the same thing that this will do. By the time it's said and done, you're cheaper, in my opinion. Like this gun right here, considerably more expensive than this gun off the box to do the same thing. And this is in 5.56, which I would have done the same thing to the 7.62. You'd be out the same money. So straight out of the box, best bang for the buck, reliability, 7.62 stopping power. As much as I, like I say, hate to admit it, I really do enjoy the CZ Bren. Like I say, is it as reliable as an AK? Probably not. I know people in Ukraine have been giving it a real thorough use and have nothing but good things to say about the CZ Bren. There's not as much time on it, and I'm sure that the new CZ Bren 3s are going to be a much improved version of the CZ Bren 2. So who knows? It could be the next replacement. Who knows? Still have a soft spot in my heart for 7.62 by 39 AKs and 5.56, any AK in general. But like I say, with the market how it is for AKs and everything being blown out of proportion, why would you spend the money on this when you could spend just a touch more initially and get this? You're going to be better off in the end with something like this if you want that modularity and adjustability without having to source and pay for all the shipping and having to pay for, like I say, well, just time in general, waiting to piece everything together. You can pay for this once, buy once, cry once. You have everything right out of the box, ready to go. Throw a can on it, throw it on its suppressed setting, and let it ride. Which you can run it in its normal setting with the suppressor. It's just a little gassy. The HB Industries deal was like $100, I think, for the gas buck, and you just pull it out, swap the new one on, twist it in place, and you're ready to rock. There wasn't any real crazy adjustment like trying to drive the freaking pins out of the bolt carrier group on this, drilling it, trying to slam them pins through, and then trying to put that roll pin back in. There's a lot less work that goes into this thing. It's much more modular. It's easier to work on. Like, if you're gonna do any hard parts, this is easier to work on. This is super dead nuts reliable. You don't need to do much to it. But if you're going to do any type of open heart surgery on it, just know it's going to be a bit more of a pain to do it with this than it would be for this. But anyway, like I say, enjoying some of the goodies, and I still love to shoot all of them. They're all awesome in their own way. Just, this is my new one. Like I say, tear me apart in the comments if you think my choice is a bad one, or if you agree, or if you love any of these guns, maybe I'll do a video. Comment on there that you want to see a video on any of these individual guns, and I'll talk about them and do a little bit of a shoot video. But thank you. Have a good one.